Hello, welcome to the Slab of Life. Today it is myself and Sebastian.
Hello, everyone. It's another one of these pocket episodes.
Yeah, we are running it as a duo today, and we are going to be talking about nuclear stuff.
Yeah, we're going to try.
Yeah.
What was your first exposure to radiation?
Oh, man.
When you were born?
Yeah, probably the first time I saw the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been with me since day one.
And now you got super cancer on your skin.
Never wear sunscreen.
You know, it's a crazy little tidbit about our job in general. How we get less radiation exposure than the average person by working on a submarine, even though we work directly next to a reactor.
Yeah, I think it's like airplane pilots get like the most.
That makes sense.
Because they're like up there.
Yeah,
like, they get
less
significantly
atmosphere.
more. Yeah. Yeah, we get like less than normal.
I'm pretty sure most of your skin aging from the sun occurs while you're driving.
Really?
On average now, right?
Huh.
In today's day and age, you're all driving around, you're just exposed to the sun. Yeah. That's why it's important to wear your sunscreen. Melanoma.
So you wanted to talk about Castle Bravo?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about like Chernobyl, Castle Bravo, radiation, how scary it is,
Yeah.
how safe it is.
So to start off, I was doing some research into this, trying to get prepped, and I was looking into the Fukushima meltdown that happened in Japan in 2011. So it was caused by this big-ass earthquake,
Yeah.
and then that earthquake caused a tsunami, and they had thought it was a good idea to put this reactor next to the ocean, so it got just fucked up by the tsunami.
Well, it actually went a lot better than it could have.
Yeah, it was like partial meltdowns.
Compared to like Chernobyl, which was hypothetically, a better starting situation.
Yeah.
And had way more disastrous results.
There were, so I was researching, because it was like, I think partial meltdowns in like 3 of the reactors, and then a couple of them had some sort of explosion, but it really didn't cause any deaths directly related to the meltdown. The leading cause of death in that incident was suicide. There were like 1,600 to 2,000 like stress and like panic heart attack and suicide deaths. People were like, oh shit, and just peaced out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The Black Eyed Peas has a music video about the Fukushima disaster.
Oh.
Because it happened. Well, it's the song "Just Can't Get Enough" because it's filmed in Japan around that time, and there's a little blurb in the beginning that's like, "Our hearts go out to the people of Japan," and then it's them like partying
in Fukushima.
Yeah. And as a kid, I had no idea what that meant. I was like, why are they shouting out,
Japan. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty crazy example of like reactor, like even the worst case scenario that happened right there. Like it was a big ass deal, but it wasn't that bad. Like, it was bad, but it could have been so much worse.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, to be fair, my exposure to this information is very, very limited, but I know they handled it way better.
Yeah, way better than
than
Russia.
Yeah. And also from our little knowledge on Chernobyl.
Most of my knowledge comes from the TV show, the miniseries.
So we're wildly unprepared.
Yeah.
To speak about what actually happened. But, yeah. I remember watching Chernobyl underway and being like, oh my god, we gotta get off the submarine right now. Radiation. And I was like, well, it's... we've been fine so far this long. I just don't want to turn into soup.
Yeah. I think they had some big problems with their reactors. Lead tipped.
Graphite.
Graphite tipped rods. Mm-hmm. That was a bad idea.
That increased the reactivity of the reactor.
Kind of crazy. They show in the TV show all those people like standing on the bridge with it's like snowing, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Not snowing, but I think that was like...
Was it Death Bridge? Or
yeah,
something?
Everyone there died.
Yeah. And they're like catching it on their tongue.
Yeah.
Catching little...
radiation particles.
Radiation, cancer.
Yeah, that'd suck.
Yeah, they just turned into soup, man. Their cells were literally just splitting open. All the DNA was just insanely damaged.
Wonder how long that took them to die.
We could look it up. How long does it take for acute radiation poisoning? Death can occur within hours to several months, depending on the amount of exposure.
Okay.
I'm sure, the guys in Chernobyl that were like working with the fucking disaster turned into soup within like the next couple days.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I'm sure the Death Bridge people probably got super cancer within, like, a week or so. I don't know.
Yeah, all the firefighters that showed up and were, like, picking up the lead from inside the reactor.
The graphite?
The graphite? Why do I keep calling it lead? Either way.
Maybe...
There were, like, bricks of it. Like, the parts of the reactor that got flown
big
out.
pencil.
Yeah.
The lead pencils, but they're really just graphite.
It's the same thing.
They would just get other poisonings if it was just all lead.
They all got lead poisoning.
Yeah. Oh my god, all this asbestos and lead paint was released into the air after the explosion. You know what's a crazy another tidbit? Nuclear power now is more safe. And by that I mean there is less deaths that occur year round from nuclear than coal, right? Because you got to think of all the nuclear disasters.
Mining coal is so dangerous.
But it's not even the coal itself that like
Really?
of people being involved in it. It is the amount of like pollution that is put out into the atmosphere and increases your risk of like other related health symptoms.
I guess that makes sense.
You know, like
It's
breathing in all that like combustion gases and stuff for your life is not good. You're gonna get other cancers from that.
Nuclear is the way to go, I guess. As long as it doesn't melt down, you're pretty okay.
I'm no nuclear dude by any means. I just work with people that did it, and it seems pretty safe.
Did you know that 3 Mile Island is still up and running?
I do not.
So, one of the guys that we work with is going to work at 3 Mile Island. Because one of their reactors, like, it lost coolant or something and had, like, a partial meltdown. But that's all it was. It didn't cause any, like, deaths or injuries or anything. Like, it was pretty okay, and the rest of the plant still is going.
I don't know much about 3 Mile Island.
It was in Pennsylvania. It was, like, really bad press for nuclear energy in the United States. But, yeah, no, it was perfectly fine nowadays. They're still up and running. I mean, that reactor's not, but...
You know, it's cool, and I'm also gonna... This is somewhat... You know what we should have had? We should have had a nuke.
I don't want to hang out with nukes.
There's some cool ones.
There are some cool ones.
But,
we could have had a nuke on.
this would have been the perfect episode. We could talk about Rickover, who is
We could talk about
insane.
Rickover. Terrible guy.
But this dude, which the craziest part of that I know of him is that he served as
So
an
long.
admiral for 30 years alone in his
Yeah.
entire career. 63 years of active duty. That is
insane.
insane.
Yeah. What year did he join? Oh, it says right. Oh, he was flag rank from 1953 to 1982.
That's insane.
That is.
For the people that don't know, which is probably the majority of people, because, I mean, we're only exposed to that too later on when the nukes come and they're like, oh, he's our daddy nuke, father of the nuclear navy. He is the reason why our nuclear program is the way it is.
Yeah. I wish I knew more about him to talk more about it, but I have heard that, like, he made admiral and just did whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah, because he
And, like,
was,
nobody
like,
could stop him.
He was
the
directly
guy.
in charge and had final say with everything
Yeah.
related to nuclear. Yeah, Rickover was just an absolute Chad in today's standards, but also a cockbag.
Yeah. I mean, he made things happen.
It would be the kind of person that I'd not want to work for, but be like, wow, that guy, I'm glad that guy is doing things.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was forced retired, but, you know, he's been in for fucking, what, 63
some years, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of insane. Speaking of military guys and nuclear stuff, look up the Davy Crockett nuke. It was in the Cold War, like 50s and 60s. They'd like developed a small, just like portable nuclear rocket. So not rocket, it was like a self-propelled, a recoilless rifle. So like light infantry could just be running around with a fucking nuke. And it was like small enough that, you know, it was portable. And they could shoot it up to like a mile or two. And then it would like destroy the whole area. It was kind of a bad, like, nobody wanted to use it, obviously, because it's a nuke and it's going to escalate things. But also, unless, like, you're in pretty good cover, it was also going to kill the people that shot it.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know we had that. And then we also had, like, nuclear artillery, basically. And Russia had, like, the same stuff at the time. But they were testing, like, every possible way we could use nukes. But the thought of, like, everyone running around with portable nuke launchers is kind of insane.
That's terrifying. Do you know the reason why we created the highway system?
Well, I'm reading it right now with you.
Dwight D. Eisenhower. Yeah. It was during the Cold War. that in event of nuclear war, there was like organized, structured highway system for people to like
get about.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Which, I mean, now if you think about it,
wasn't it also so like we could mobilize the military, like get them from place to place fast?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of benefits of having this highway system, but yeah, which is crazy. But because you think about it now, right? Like, there's insane traffic day to day, just of people existing, of how like car dependent our country has become.
Yeah.
That like if any major catastrophe were to happen on such short notice, like natural
disasters, the highways
disasters,
would be jammed.
Yeah, which is another reason why we need better public transportation, like fucking railways.
Yeah.
Like the most common areas of the area, or the most common areas of cities, should have like maybe a subway system or a railway, so it takes mass amounts of people point A to point B, just so you don't have millions of cars with one person in each going to the same direction.
Yeah, I think if you live in an urban area, and like how it is now, if something like hits where they're like, you got to get out of the city, you're cooked. So what do you know about Bikini Atoll? Yeah.
Bikini Atoll was where we did nuclear testing after the fact of the Second World War. Mm-hmm. And it was there was inhabitants of the island, of the Marshall Islands. And during World War II, it was occupied by Japanese soldiers as like a communication radio area, and they lived with the local population. Mm-hmm. And they were really terrible to them. You know, they did horrible things to the people. And then
we're like, oh, we're here.
Like, yeah, we kind of came in and killed them all. We gave them a lot of supplies. You know, we gave them food, and in addition, because they were pretty self-sufficient. They were a big culture of living off the island with coconuts, crabs, fishing, canoeing, because it was a huge island chain. Yeah. I mean, they were really small, but it was like, you know, they're all living around there. They had a lot of coconuts. And then we give them all a bunch of stuff. We like liberated them. And they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then
we're like, man, this is the perfect spot for a nuke.
Yeah, we kind of were like, wow, this is a perfect site. And we we relocated all of them to another island that was nearby. Mm. And it was terrible for the people because they didn't have any resources to live there as opposed to where they were. Yeah. And they started dying by 1948 when they were moved from 1946. And then we bombed the fuck out of their islands, which was the Castle Bravo project. Yeah. And then after we thought radiation was good, we were like, hey, you guys can come back. And then they got super cancer.
God damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah, they
like, hey, we're gonna go bomb your islands for 10, 15 years.
Yeah, we detonated 23 nuclear devices in the span of 12 years on their islands. Damn. And then Castle Bravo was the largest bomb that we detonated. Okay. On their islands with 15 megatons, but it was one of 67 nuclear launches on the area. Okay. 1968, based on scientific advice, radiation levels were significantly or sufficiently reduced, and Lyndon B. Johnson was telling the people that they would be able to return to their homes. Yeah, man, their like normal food source were all contaminated with high levels of radiation, and about 100 people moved back to their homes back in 1972, and found that their water wells and all their like food was still dangerous to consume.
Man, that sucks. I'd be pretty pissed.
In turn, there was a lot of miscarriages, stillbirths, mutations.
Oh, the coconuts were contaminated. They couldn't eat the crabs either.
Yeah, man.
So they were doing tests in the water and stuff, right?
Yeah, they were testing the radiation.
How'd that affect the sea life? Did we get like radiated fish or like?
It probably.
Like, did they start looking funny and shit?
Well, I don't think when we think of like mutations in animals, and you think of like The Simpsons, that's not really how it kind of happens. It's more of like, oh, these animals can no longer properly reproduce without having like blood cancer immediately after birth, or oh, these animals are born with just blindness now. So I doubt they looked funny in the traditional sense. They probably were just like, again, turning into soup from the inside out slowly, and then just died off.
Damn, it's really just depressing.
Yeah it do be like that, the horrors of war and
nuclear testing.
But the good news is the stuff that stems off of this can be used for good. For example, like medical machines.
Yeah.
Like,
we use radiation for cancer treatment and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's related. I don't know if that's the same kind of radiation. I don't know what that is. So it's called radiation.
Well, radiation is everything.
Well, yeah.
Radiation is energy radiating out into the
but they
world.
call it like specifically like radiation treatment.
Okay, well let's dive into it, right? So nuclear radiation, or the radiation that we're worried about when we think of that, is also the same type of radiation from the sun, which is ionizing radiation. And ionizing radiation is what damages your cells, right? So where versus like, say, radiation from like a fire, like a campfire, you're not getting ionizing radiation from there. But other ionizing radiation would be like X-rays or gamma rays or other stuff with like high energy. But in small doses, it can be...
Radiation therapy for cancer treatment primarily uses ionizing radiation, which includes forms like X-rays, gamma rays, electron beams, and protons. These high-energy particles or waves damage or destroy cancer cells by interfering with their DNA.
Yeah, so it is the kind of same. Which makes sense, right? Like if ionizing radiation is destroying DNA and causing mutations to then give you cancer,
they just use it back
to kill
on
the
itself
cancer.
To
like target the cancer cells.
Thinking of like bomb testing and stuff.
Yeah, because the medical instruments that we use is targeted, whereas a bomb is just
not targeted,
blanketing your body. If you survive the hypothetical blast and the debris and all that stuff, if you're just existing and breathing in nuclear fallout, like dust particles that are now contaminated,
you're screwed.
You now have the particles inside you, and that was now causing like an uncontrolled dose.
Have you looked into the Tsar bomb at all?
Tsar Bomba?
Tsar Bomba, yeah.
Which is the...
That was one of Russia's tests, their biggest test ever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure... So our Castle Bravo test was 15 megatons. The Tsar Bomba was 50 megatons.
Yeah, it was off the fucking charts. Apparently you could see it like 1,000 kilometers away.
Yeah, Tsar Bomba. Most powerful nuclear bomb ever created and tested. Which was the Soviets. That's crazy. The aircraft that flew the bomb was only given a 50% chance of surviving the test.
Yeah, the bomb was given a parachute to like slow it down so the plane would have time to fly away before it exploded. The fireball was 5 miles wide. And it blew out windows like hundreds of kilometers away.
The mushroom cloud was 8 times higher than the height of Mount Everest.
42 miles.
I feel like living through that time, I can see why, like the Cold War, right? Like the absolute fear of being nuked at any fucking moment. When we're testing terrifying. Nukes constantly in the Pacific, and then Russia's like, or I guess the Soviet Union back then, is like, oh yeah, we're just gonna detonate a 5 mile wide fucking...
You could see it from Alaska. Like...
Hey, what's over there? And then your windows blow out and you just see like an 80 mile, or not 80 mile, fucking, what?
5 mile wide fireball.
You can see the cloud 500 miles away.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, everything blows out and you just see a sun on the earth and you're like, oh.
Like nowadays we're like, hey, we don't like you. And they're like, yeah, we're pretty mad too. But back then they were like, check this fucking nuke out. That'd be terrifying. But I don't think being nuked would be that bad. Oh, wait, go up.
You don't think being nuked would be bad?
No.
You mean because...
It'd be so fast.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yeah.
You're done.
I guess
They were
if I had to choose between being nuked and living 10 miles away from the nuclear site, I would choose being turned into smoke immediately, like dust, vapor.
This says that 34 miles away from the nuclear site, the town was completely flattened. Like, being in the blast radius of that,
Do you know?
while not optimal, would be the best
amount
case.
of human
It's quick.
suffering. There's this man, a Japanese man, who survived both blasts of the bomb in World War II because he was in Hiroshima on, here's his name, Tsutomu Yamaguchi, he was a resident of Nagasaki, and he was in Hiroshima on business for his employer, Mitsubishi. And then he was in the city when it was bombed and survived, and he returned to Nagasaki despite his wounds, and then went to work. And then at the second atomic bombing dropping, he was also in Nagasaki, and then was bombed again, and survived that bomb.
He's got to have terrible nightmares.
Well, he died 60 years later. 70 years
60
later.
years later, or whatever.
In 2010, at 93,
That's crazy.
from stomach cancer. That's insane. To be like, I'm gonna go to, like for us, it'd be like I'm gonna go to Virginia Beach for work. City
Get
gets
nuked.
obliterated. Literally, the most powerful weapon the Earth has ever seen. Everything is flattened. You like crawl back to your home miles away, and you're like, I guess I'll go to work. I gotta let people know that shit was like,
Yeah.
you know, the
Insane.
embodiment of like total obliteration. And then your city gets nuked again, and then you survive that.
Dropping the bombs on Japan is something that was really controversial
Yeah.
and kind of terrible. Like, looking at the options we had of, like, do we invade and, like, lose millions of soldiers? Or do we bomb them and kill so many fucking people? Just, like, 2 cities just blowed up.
Yeah. Bunch of civilians.
But also the alternative to nuking at the time was just, like, firebombing. Like what we did with Tokyo. We were like, we're just going to set your city on fire.
I wonder,
Absolutely brutal.
would they have achieved the same results with a single nuke?
Instead of dropping the second?
Yeah.
Probably. Because Japan already had to surrender. Russia was invading. Russia was invading.
Yeah.
They were fighting Japan and, like, China
Yeah,
and, like,
because,
moving in.
what was it, August?
Because Germany surrendered. So I think we dropped the nukes mostly just to flex on Russia. Like, we knew that was going to be a problem. And we were like, we want to show you what we can do.
Yeah, because Russia was about to invade, and we were like, hold up. Nuke.
Let's try a nuke. Yeah.
Because at that point, I think it was...
We knew we were going to win. There was no question of, like, is Japan going to be able to hold out?
I think they did want to... They wanted to save U.S. lives
Yeah.
and also show Russia that we have this capability.
Yeah.
And then what proceeded was the Cold War.
Yeah. I don't think we would have dropped nukes on, like, Europe, like on Germany.
That was the purpose of them. They were originally for Germany.
I don't think we would have done it. I think we just had really bad blood with Japan at the time because the Pacific theater was so brutal. I think we were like, fuck these guys. But then again, we bombed Dresden.
That is a good point, is that originally, when we were developing the nuke, Germany was also developing their own nuke with Enrico Fermi. Or no, correction, my bad. That is completely wrong. Enrico Fermi was us. He was the guy that made the Chicago pile one. Who was their German scientist? Was it Heisenberg?
Heisenberg?
Yeah, he was their leading scientist to develop the nuclear bomb in Germany.
Okay.
If you've watched Oppenheimer, the movie...
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, but right, we were so worried about Germany back then that we were trying to drop the bomb on them, and then I guess it makes sense that we would be worried that if the nuke didn't do what we thought it would, Germany might be able to reverse engineer.
Yeah.
As a fear, right? Like back then, and then turns out they were like not even as progressed as we were, and then we're like, oh, we still got to use the bombs. Well, now we can save lives in Japan by obliterating other lives too. But, I mean...
Nukes really suck.
Yeah.
That kind of screwed us for the next eternity.
Yeah,
I think the point of, like, us dropping the bombs on Japan is, like, a massive shift in human history. Everything since then.
it opened up a new can of worms for sure.
Yeah.
But it's weird now because we have nukes, and then we use that as, mutual assured destruction.
Yeah.
And then any other country that tries to do the same thing as us,
We're like, no.
yeah, like super no.
Yeah.
But which makes sense in a general
In a us looking out for us way, that makes sense.
But a world peace thing, it's like
now we're going
just
to war.
The world bullies.
Now we are going to war to stop other people from us getting our deterrent that keeps people going to war with us.
Yeah, it's kind of like we're like the big kid at the park.
Yeah.
That we're like, all right, no more fighting after we just beat the shit out of everyone. And then like, they're like, hey, can you take out the school bully? And then it's like the kid from another school comes over. That's kind of, the biggest kid in that school. And then we just like
beat the piss out of him.
We just take a baseball bat and just beat the shit out of the kid.
Yeah.
And we're like, peace again. Or we'll fucking baseball bat you too.
Yeah. I do think so mutually assured destruction, kind of a good thing. That definitely kept us from going to war with the Soviet Union. Because, like, we were beefing with them. But the fact that we both had nuclear weapons definitely held off any, like, direct conflict. But then it turned into just proxy wars all the time. So it kind of screwed everyone else.
Yeah,
It'd almost be better if we just duked it out with them back then and figured it out.
We just need to have, like, a good old-fashioned chess match. Or
we need to do, like, boxing or something.
Yeah, get the world leaders in a ring.
Yeah.
10 rounds.
That'd be crazy, though, because then we'd start voting for, like, UFC fighters for president. Who's got the most CTE? Get him in office.
And this man's just grappling. That'd be, yeah, man. Because I feel like to the layman now, right? To just us Joe Schmoes, I feel like the raw firepower of some of these weapons is so, like, unfathomable, incomprehensible, that I feel like, oh, what's the point of me going to my 9 to 5 if I'm just going to be turned to vapor at any fucking moment from any point in the world?
Yeah.
Because, like, oh, let me get on the highway. That Dwight D. Eisenhower, or was it Dwight?
Yeah, it was Eisenhower.
Eisenhower. Oh, let me get on the highway that he designed. Meanwhile, this fireball is 8 miles wide.
Yeah.
And it could be launched at any point. Like, I'm not getting on I-95. I barely could go down the street to go to my fucking Walmart for some fucking oat milk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrifying.
And you just got these bombers that are, like, in the stratosphere now.
That is pretty crazy. I'm happy we're the best at it. I would prefer to be on that side, but not a good thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It did create, like, a pseudo era of peace. There isn't peace in the world by any means, because now we're fighting over ideologies. But in regards of raw destructive power, there hasn't been. Now we just proxy war other countries, and then there's extreme
poverty
and starvation. Right. We've made it clear that we're not experts on this by any means. Cool. I'd like to introduce, where would you like to see us go as a society, or not even a society, as humanity,
with like nuclear
in the future? Yeah, like, what is your ideal path for us?
I think it'd be cool if we could. Now, I'm not talking in the next, like, couple of years, because it's not going to happen. But, like, someday, if all the big countries could come together and be like, all right, we're just going to dismantle our nukes. Like, getting rid of the threat of nuclear weapons would be a great thing for everybody. If we just kind of, as a world, we're like, we don't need that, Because countries can recover from wars. Like, look at Europe now. It was just blown up 80 years ago in World War II or whatever.
I mean, there's a war in Europe right now.
Yeah, and in 100 years, they'll probably be okay. It sucks now, but it'll recover. But an all-out nuclear war, I don't know if anyone can recover from that. If you just nuke the shit out of a country, that's way worse than a war. So I think it'd be good to see people, like, move away from that as an option.
It's like our great filter.
Yeah.
Do you know what the great filter is?
No.
So this ties back into Aliens, where if the world at being as, like, the universe is, to our all intents and purposes, infinite, right? We have billions of stars everywhere. We have light years in every direction. Why isn't there signs of intelligent life or any life that we've detected? And one of the solutions to that Fermi paradox, which is what that is like, if everything is infinite, why is there no other life forms?
Yeah.
Is that there's this unforeseen great filter.
Okay.
That is culling life, right? Like, civilization is common.
Yeah.
But to the point of intelligent life, there's a barrier that between civilizations that survive versus civilizations that don't. And that means either A, are we past that filter And the reason why we don't know where any other life is, or it doesn't exist, is because they didn't make it past that filter. And that could be life beginning, maybe, right? That could be...
Or like electricity.
Or something, right? Or are we still behind that filter and we haven't reached the biggest barrier yet anyway?
Yeah. I think that would be the most likely.
That filter could be, I think, nuclear bombs make sense, right? If other civilizations are constant warfaring and say technology keeps improving and improving, something like a nuclear bomb, it doesn't have to be nuclear per se, right? But something that like
mass destruction.
Is mass destruction to the point where not only are you gonna kill the land and the DNA and everything of people, that kills them out.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe there was like an ionizing, X-ray machine that just immediately like
zapped everyone.
Melts DNA.
Yeah.
And it poisons the land. Or, like is that one of our thresholds that we're gonna pass and then another new unimaginable threat
if it gets worse than this.
I'm sure it will.
If it gets worse than nukes, like the threat of that.
I'm sure it will, man. Imagine like movies, right? We're just go off of like pop culture, right? Like AI Terminator.
Mm-hmm. AI Terminator with a nuke.
Yeah, but it doesn't even have to have like a nuke.
Yeah.
It could be like, I don't know, like, oh, you now have another artificial life that is so smarter than us. It could create like a disease specifically for humans that has like, imagine like an artificial disease that is created from this like Terminator robot that's like, it has 100% infection rate. Kind of like Plague Inc. You ever played the game Plague Inc?
Yeah.
You create your own disease. Say it infects everyone, and then it's also able to be smart and then like have like 100% lethality rate, or...
You just gave someone an idea.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's like uncomprehensible threats on the horizon that we can't even perceive from technology, where like 1,000 years ago, it's like, oh, the Chinese has gunpowder and we have our wooden ships and they're shooting us with fucking cannonballs. Or like the Ironclad Wars.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Where you have one iron ship that's just eating millions of cannonballs, and you're like, okay, like,
we need to change things now.
Yeah. And now it's like, oh, our capability is of destruction is so great.
God, that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you wanted to talk about? You said the reason this came up, Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah. I was just talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis. We'll give some background on that, because the Cuban Missile Crisis, well, actually, so Chernobyl was the downfall of the Soviet Union. Cuban Missile Crisis is when the Cold War was literally at its peak.
Yep.
All right, so the Cuban Missile Crisis. It was a 13-day confrontation between the U.S. government and the Soviet Union, where we flew spy planes over Cuba, and we noticed that there were nuclear silos on Cuba, which is fucking, what?
90 miles from
93 miles from Key West. So it's like, oh yeah, we got nukes directly on our back door.
So, no, yeah, I think the Cuban Missile Crisis was kind of bogus. We overreacted so bad.
We were doing the same thing.
We were doing the same thing. We had missiles right next to them. And then they put them next to us, and we were like, it's time to escalate. Granted, nobody wants missiles next to them. The solution to that is neither of us do it.
Yeah.
But
it's like...
I feel like we were taught in a way that made us the bad guys in that scenario. Or that made them the bad guys, which they weren't doing a good thing. They were putting nukes right next to us. But we had fucking missiles in Turkey. And they were like, will you take them away? And we were like, no.
Which led to the Bay of Pigs.
Yeah.
Which was a huge failure.
Yeah.
If you got your tinfoil hat on, is what led to Kennedy's assassination.
Oh, yeah?
His failure of the invasion of Cuba.
Also, his not saying he wouldn't have, but his wariness towards Vietnam was a big one.
This is an interesting episode.
I think like the main takeaway from this is kind of like how like parents and teachers are like, nothing good happens after midnight. Is like nothing good happens with nukes. They really just have caused problems for like 80 years now.
It's crazy on like the chart of like a good to bad thing, right? Because nuclear energy
is so good.
Is very very good. Right? It's literally spicy hot rock makes steam.
Yeah. And then
We use that steam to spin a turbine, which creates electricity. And then after 30 years, that spicy rock isn't as good anymore, and we'll bury it in lead and concrete underground.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of like leave it there, and then it will decay on its own.
And we're fine.
Versus, hey, we're gonna take that hot rock and put it directly in your house.
Yeah. It's really a superhuman thing. Or like not superhuman, but like such a human thing to be like, we found the best energy source possible. Let's turn it into a fucking huge bomb. That's kind of depressing.
Yeah, wars really accelerate technology in interesting ways.
Yeah.
All right, because you're like, how can I kill my enemy faster? Whereas it puts all resources into like one really hyper specific purpose.
Yeah.
Right, like, oh, but then after, I guess, like the residuals of all that technology, like, whoa, we did all that. Like, what else can we use that for that isn't for killing?
And then we got nuclear energy.
Right, like we got...
Which is really...
The internet.
What were you using that for beforehand?
Communication.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Or that might be... Not the internet. GPS?
Yeah, GPS was for military use. I bet this has some link to a war, though.
Okay, yeah. So GPS was started by the U.S. DoD in 1973. And now, fucking, it's used for my Uber Eats.
Yeah, seriously.
And, we don't need Mapster anymore. Which is its own good and bad, right? But we're now so reliant on navigation worldwide on GPS because it is incredibly powerful. But if that is wiped out, there's so many things now reliant on our technology.
Yeah, we're cooked.
Solar flare just knocks out.
Thank you guys for joining us for this conversation. I hope it doesn't leave you depressed, questioning our futures.
Well, if that's the case, let's end on a good note. What do you want to see from your fellow man as your final word of advice embarking? Your fellow human.
Shit. Don't nuke each other.
Yeah. Don't nuke each other.
Yeah.
There's always a peaceful resolution.
Yeah.
If there isn't one, fight for one.
Or just fight conventionally.
Yeah. Maybe no advice. Thank you guys for listening. Yeah. We appreciate you listening to The Slab of Life.
Please follow and subscribe.
Follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast, and maybe send it to a friend. We got something for everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.